What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today a little bit of bad news for those of you guys who love Tassi and using her in places like Dur's Trials, heck, even in AFK Progress, the Talent Trials, anything that uses the Season Lightbearer buff, is gonna be a little bit of a nerf to Tassi, because it sounds like she was not working properly and she was just a little bit too overpowered in those situations. As we saw, Tassi was one of the easiest ways to get to level 40 in Dur's Trials, and with today we have a little bit of information to go over here. So one of the biggest things you'll actually see in game here is a little bit of a patch note update here, if it'll load. So this is it right here, the Tassi skill anomaly issue handling. So in the November 27th update, we fixed an issue regarding Tassi skills that would cause her to potentially unleash 2 additional ultimate skills instead of 1 with the Lightbearer Prime Carrier ability. As you guys know, the Lightbearer one's the one that lets you cast multiple ultimates, things like that. It looks like it was artificially doing more. Now, it's not saying she's gonna be bad, it's just not as good. It says, however, because of our poor consideration, we have overlooked the important role Tassi plays in player level pushing, especially in the current season, making PvE experience for players more affected by the fix. In order to ensure players game experience, we decided to roll back the fix on Tassi skill issue in the following mode. So this is going to be essentially, they nerfed her or fixed her, and now they're unfixing her kind of. So Tassi skill use in the following modes after the rollback, Tassi will have the same performance as before the update. And that's going to be the AFK Challenge and Dur's Trials. That was a big upset last night, and I'm kind of happy I didn't make a video before, because then it'll be like, oh, she's completely nerfed. In reality, they rolled her back. Now, this does mean in things like PvP and anywhere else that you do have that Lightbearer faction bonus, that is going to still only cast 1 ultimate. But I think because it was like a exploit early, exploit often type thing, they figured, yeah, because there's people that haven't finished it out, so we'll let Tassi get the 2 ultimates off, the bonus ultimates in those game modes. It says, in addition, the other fix about the ultimate attribute not enhancing the control duration of the extra release for Lightbearer effect is still valid and will not be affected. We apologize for your inconvenience. So that's really big here, because I think that was actually, yeah, that was, I'm glad they kind of took away the other notice here, because remember, the main reason why Tassi is just so good for your account right now is getting these to level 40, letting you pick which hero you want to get these magic charms for, and even picking which location. Now, I can't remember, oh man, you can still battle it, right? Yeah, I don't think it takes an attempt at all. So essentially what's happening here in some of these, this isn't one of them. This one's going to be for Harak, which again, if you have Harak and you have Tassi, a lot of these will be fixed. Yeah, it looks like in both of these ones, they're both Harak, so I can't actually show them to you. I think the warrior one right here is one of the one that Tassi might have been really good in, and then there's a bunch of them on the sunset side that she was just so good on. And of course, in AFK Progress, especially the talent trials, that's where it really is affected. You're almost rewarded for having a team that is Lightbearer oriented, and again, this is why I'm using heroes like Lucius on my account. I'm using heroes like Luca, because I just want to get that bonus right here, making the prime carriers, both of them, cast their ultimate multiple times. So very strong, and it's still probably one of the better strategies to go for. You don't really even need Taylene. Like, you could go for probably a lot of other heroes in this situation. Heck, you could go for an Alsa. You could even just go for a straight up Lightbearer type team here. Granted, I don't know if there's anybody else that's super great for AFK battles. I mean, you could even put like Walker. And Walker, I think, is one of those underutilized heroes in the game. And the fact that right at the beginning of battle, he's gonna like just stun a bunch of targets and stuff like that, so he can be very solid. He literally walks around the battlefield. But yeah, having Tassi's, watch this ultimate right here. Let's see if we can get to it real quick. Here she goes. So you watch Tassi's ultimate go off in 1 second. Eventually it'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen. It'll happen. There we go. So she gets her first ultimate off, and then the shadow does like a double cast right here, which is really strange. It only shows the animation for one, but it's actually doing more damage and everything than it really should be intended on doing. So just keep that in mind. That's something really important. One thing I actually really like running with this team, and like I said, Walker's not a great example. I actually like using Odie in this squad. Odie can be a very, very good addition to this style team, mainly because number one, Rowan is casting a ton of ultimates, which means Odie is potentially going to get tons of ultimates too. But one of the things Tassi can sometimes have an issue with is actually finish heroes off. So if you have a bunch of these little execution marks from a Mythic plus Odie, it can work out really, really well, because all these are just going to be slowly building up. And you see right here, this is a very hard way for Tassi to work, because these are those enemies that can't be CC'd. They're completely unaffected by the CC effect. So it's a little rough. So having someone else that can help finish off these targets, that can then let her chain those ultimates back to back, really, really important. And Odie does a really awesome job. So you see some of these guys are getting really close to their execution mark as she kind of dashes all over the battlefield. Heroes like Lucius can help keep your team alive. The newest hero, Sanja, might be absolutely amazing in this type of team too, even over maybe like a Luke or something. But you see, enemies are going to start dying, and that means she's going to start spamming even more ultimates. And again, this is against enemies that are CC immune, because they're those really annoying Graveborn heroes. So you can see how she sometimes can't do things all by herself, but if she has someone to help out, you can get some wins here. Granted, this is still a very, very tough wave. You can see the amount of healing they have and how much everything else, like, it's really, really annoying how that works out. If we do take these teams and we swap their order around, you'll notice such a difference here. So if we go to the first team now that has this is going to go so much smoother with this squad here, because these enemies can actually be CC'd, and the fact that she now is still having her better version of her Lightbearer ultimate as a prime carrier, very, very important, because it completely locks the enemies down, because it's like a 4-second and then it like casts it again after like 2 to 3 seconds. So you're getting almost like an 8-second hypnotize, which is just absolutely insane. You can see how when you can CC the enemies, your team stays super duper healthy. And the only really healer we have is Rowan, which again is still pretty solid, but you can see how good this actually works out. You're continuing to just CC the enemy. Rowan works his way into the melee group, so Lucius is really good at shielding him, and this Lightbearer combination just works expertly. Again, this is really good that they rolled back the nerf, because that would have been really bad for anybody who may not have had Tassi yet, or had the account power to really push Endurance Trials. And again, it just makes it super easy to do things like in the AFK battles, mainly of course the talent trials. Nothing changes in the regular battle. However, just remember, if you were running a Lightbearer type team in Supreme Arena, that will be slightly worse. And any other battle that you were using her in, maybe in like battle drills or something like that, that's also going to be taking effect. So as good as she is, thankfully, because Sanja's coming out and she seems pretty decent, I don't know who to go for just yet, or tell you who to go for between Tassi and Sanja. I guess you could build Sanja and then swap to Tassi if you don't like her, or if she doesn't end up panning out very well. But that is the update here. She isn't nerfed everywhere. She's actually been brought back to her broken, overpowered state. And I'm glad Lilith Games realized that it was kind of unfair for everybody who hadn't had a chance to use her yet and get that progression. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time.